Hello, everybody. This is Patrick at ACA, and today I'm going to go over how to deploy your React apps to Heroku. Um, in one of my previous videos, I kind of did a walkthrough of deploying your app to Google Cloud, and one of the benefits of Heroku is that it's free. So that's that's a really nice benefit. I know for myself, the cost of Google Cloud was getting to at least about $100 a month. So, um, and I had some difficulty at first deploying to Heroku. So I took some time to really um, work on it, and I found a really great resource that helps me deploy a simple React app to Heroku. I say simple, but it does have a backend. So um, so once if you follow this walkthrough, you'll have your server and your front end, so you can flesh out the server with routes and modules and things, or routes and controllers like we did in 3.11. And then you can develop your front end with the React and Redux. And well, it starts with React, but you can build out your Redux and all that on the front end. So let's get to it. And I'm gonna walk through this. There's one section here where there's actually maybe kind of an error, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. So so yeah, like I said, I'm literally gonna walk through it. CD dot dot. Okay, so go to whatever folder you keep all your projects, and we're gonna do an npx create React app. And I'm gonna call it my Heroku. I already did my Heroku, so I'm just gonna call it ACA. Oh, okay. All right, my Heroku ACA. Awesome. Okay, that's going to take a little bit. So while it's installing, let's kind of do maybe kind of a walkthrough of what we're going to do. We're going to go into our project, start it just to kind of take a look, see what it's, make sure it's working. And then we're going to push it to GitHub. And I might as well find another link here. So we're going to push it to GitHub, and this is how I usually like to push a kind of blank React app to GitHub. There's a resource here, and I'll try to get all of the resources that I reference onto this video page. But it's really not too hard. You'll create a repo in your GitHub, and while the npx is installing or creating the app, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So your no repo, what did I call it? My Heroku ACA. I might need to change it when I actually deploy it if somebody else has created this. And in this situation, I actually don't add a README file, so I just create the repo. And let's check in on our terminal C. Okay, it's still installing. So let's see. I do have to wait for that to install, but we will use this code here once it's installed. Some other things that you're going to need to follow, some of the instructions are brew. And I don't think that I don't think if you're in ACA, you've probably already followed that, but you probably already have it. But installing it is not hard. I think you really just copy and paste that in. And then of course you're going to need Node, but I'm sure you already have that installed. So where were we? Okay, let's see if it's installed yet. Nope, still creating the React app. So once it's installed, we're gonna push it to GitHub. We're gonna create our Express server. So I'll need Express, or well, we just install it into our local directory. All right, here we go. Not yet. And this actually, another thing that we're going to need that actually I had to kind of get installed is um, create a Heroku account. If you haven't, that should take 2 minutes. And if you and installing the Heroku-CLI. And here's the documentation for that. I actually I had already installed it via npm. And when I hit Heroku-version, I was getting an out-of-date version, and it didn't even give me a command to update it. And I really wanted an up-to-date version because I don't want something to go haywire because I don't have an up-to-date version. And so it talks about ways to install it, and it says npm. It says strongly recommended. Don't use this method. Basically, when you use this method, it doesn't auto update. So I had to go, if you maybe did something like that, let's see, uninstalling Heroku-CLI, I had to use this command here to uninstall it. And then I reinstalled it. Let's see. I reinstalled it using this method. So if you're installing it for the first time, use this method. If you're like me and you had previously installed it via npm and you're getting an out-of-date version, I might recommend you go ahead and try uninstalling it and reinstalling it with Brew or Homebrew. Okay, we're ready. Let's cd into that. And just hit npm start like we always do. All right, there it is. Nothing special here, just a you know, fresh React app. Let's go back to the instructions. Where did I go? Oh, okay. I followed the link and I lost the. Where's our Medium post? Maybe it was right here. There we go. So we created our app and now we're going to start Express. And I'm just going to do it from here for now. So I'm in my root directory. And let's see, should I do it from here? Let's just go into VS Code. Actually, no, I'm going to do it from here as long as I can. Okay. npm install express -- save. Now, when I did this, I was wait. Oh, we're going to push it to GitHub first. Let's do that. Okay, so I referenced that thing, and as you see in that, we're going to go git init. Git add all, git commit, initial commit, and then git add remote origin. This is the one I would always forget. And then we're going to add git add remote origin master, and now we're going to copy that link right here. I think I mixed it up again. I think it's get remote. Yeah, that's why I always mess it up. Get remote add origin. And I don't think I put master. This is why I bookmarked it, because so you create your get add, get commit, get remote add origin, get remote add origin. All right, there it is. And now we can get push, and it's going to say get push setup screen origin master. And that's how I like to set up my repositories when I'm using a React app. So now if we go back to our GitHub and refresh it, we'll see all of our React files. All right, so we pushed it to GitHub. So this will kind of, we did a lot of bouncing around. So we created the React app, we seeded into it, npm start, test it out, and pushed it to GitHub. That's it. Okay, so in the root of your folder, we're gonna create a new folder called server. So we're in the root of our folder right now, and so I'll say make directory server, and then cd into server, and we're gonna create, so let's see, create inside of it, add a file called server.js. Touch server.js. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the root directory. Talks a little bit about Express. So npm install express save. When I got to this step, I wasn't sure if I should do it in the root directory or in that server directory that we just made. But I ended up going with doing it in the root directory, and everything worked out fine. So, and I'm never really sure, I'm not always sure when or if you still need to use save. I've heard people say that you don't actually need to use save anymore. But when I'm following a tutorial like this, I just stick to the script, especially when it comes to deployment. My concern is like, I just want to make sure that the deployed version has all the dependencies and all that. All right. All right, so now we're going to start writing some code for our server. So let's get into it now. Launch our VS Code. I'm going to try to do kind of a split screen here. The server file is the main one that we're going to work with. All right, I think that's good. All right, so just doing some Express boilerplate. We're going to start import Express. Create an instance of it. We're going to use this path thing that we always use when we want our router or server to serve static files. This is a little bit unusual from what I've seen before. But it seems to work. So, and now app.use Express. And there's actually a kind of an error in here. It's not exactly an error, but I guess it's not an error yet. But we'll get to that when we get down the road. All right, so we're telling our server to serve our public folder. Start the server by telling it to use port 3000. Yeah, this actually might be a really important step because it's basically saying Heroku will assign a port for your app when deploying it, so both cases should be covered. I feel like in the past I might not have considered that. So process.env, we're not going to create a .env file. So my thinking is that this is actually getting passed in a port from Heroku. So that might be a really important line right there. Oh, we already did the public path. And I'm gonna try to keep all of the order of our things the same as the example. And now we'll tell our port to start up. Tell our server to start up. Okay. And this is kind of cool. So it says, make sure your index file is served in case a user requests a resource currently not in the public folder. So that could be really helpful. Or maybe realistically, maybe put like some kind of like 404 page right here. Okay, rec res. This will probably go like last. Yeah, obviously this would have to go last so it doesn't hit other routes. All right, so app.get, just making sure it's pretty much the same as the example. Okay, looks good. All right, so it says at this point, if everything went well, you should be able to test your server locally and make sure everything was set up correctly. Then you can move on to actually deploying Heroku. In order to do that, you need to create your production build running npm run build. Before I run the npm run build, I do want to change. Oops. Do want to maybe make like one change to the app, so it looks not like the complete default. So we'll put in here, and we'll say, welcome to my deployed Heroku. All right. Actually, okay. Now go back to server. Although we are now going to run npm run build. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. So in order to do that, you just need to create your production build by running npm run build and then node server/server.js. Okay, npm run build. This is actually a slightly different file structure than I may have done in the previous video, because in this one, the React app is kind of living in the root directory, which is a little bit different than the last one where there's kind of an outer shell, and then we called the React app client. All right, so we have our build folder, and we want to say node server, node server/server. Okay, listening to 3000. Let's see what happens here. Let's reload this. Okay. So, and this is what happened before. If you follow the directions as explained, you'll get this error. And I'm going to kind of walk through what I did when I got this error. I copied and pasted it. Okay. And found this helpful Stack Overflow. And I just kind of scrolled down to the solution because just, and so this is what I was like, so it's saying like, oh, well, just replace public URL with the actual path, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait, so there's something in my code with this here. I'm walking through kind of the error because I could just have like glossed it, like done it without the error and save some time. But it's kind of helpful to kind of walk through some of the errors that you get because you might see it again, and it's kind of good if you. So if you've seen it before, and you're like, oh, I know what happened there. So this is in our index.html file, and it's in our public directory. So, and then if you actually look at it, it says, notice we use public URL in the tags above. Will be replaced with the URL of the public folder during, it will be replaced with the URL of the public folder during the build. So, hey, our server is looking at public, but we want it to be looking at builds. So that's one thing. Let's see if it works now. Okay, let's see. I'm actually really not sure because I thought that there's one other change that I had made. Okay, awesome. All right, there's our server. There's our React app, and it's running. It's being served from the server and not from the development server, the npm start thing. All right, so that's good. All right, let's go back to let's go back to the instructions. Okay, it's kind of giving a roundup, and that is should probably be updated. All right, so I think we're ready to deploy to Heroku. If you don't have a Heroku account or you haven't done Heroku-CLI, you'll want to do that. And when I was following these steps, I referenced the Heroku-CLI documentation quite a bit just to make sure. All right, so let's do Heroku login. I guess I'll close that. I guess I could have kept, yeah, I'll close it. And if you're not sure if you have Heroku, just go to Heroku version. And this is where I realized that it gave me a warning that I had an out-of-date version. I had to update it. So Heroku login. This is pretty cool. It just takes you to the browser because I'm never sure. To be honest, I'm not sure what my credentials are because it just auto saves the password. But yeah, so you're logged in. Easy. And then Heroku, okay. Through the terminal, your credentials, create a Heroku application. Heroku create, and then the name of your app. Heroku create. Last time I did this, the name of my app wasn't available. I wanted to make it the same as the GitHub name or the GitHub repo name. So that might not happen this time. So let's see. My Heroku ACA. Yay. Yeah, awesome. Let's see. At this point, you should have two Git remotes for your app, the original one and the one that's created by Heroku. That's really interesting, and I think that's worth remembering. So we have Heroku and we have Origin. All right. When Heroku starts your application, it's going to try to run the start script. This is also really important. Maybe where previous attempts have failed. So we're going to go to our package JSON and put this in our start script. Makes sense. There we go. Push your code to the Heroku remote repository. Now, one thing that I did before this is I went ahead and pushed this first to I went ahead and pushed these changes up to the regular GitHub remote. What are the names of our remotes? Heroku and Origin. So I pushed these up to Origin. So git add, git commit. I'm going to say ready to deploy. Git to push. So this is pushing up to the Origin, which is the GitHub. And now push your code to the Heroku remote repository. Git push Heroku master. And last time I did this took a good minute. And hopefully this works. That should be it. Let's see. That's a good sign. But I have received that message before when it did not deploy correctly. But still, it's a good sign. All right, moment of truth here. Was it Heroku open? Yes. Heroku open. Yay! We did it! And this is awesome because it is a full stack app, even though it's not really doing anything yet. From here, we can go into our server file and create controllers, controllers, routes, and all that fun stuff. And in your source file, you can create your Redux directory and your components directory and just get started. So I would probably recommend doing something like this at the beginning of your project because it can be a little scary when you've already kind of created your app and you're having trouble deploying it because of maybe the file structure or something like that. So now we've got this app that's just ready to be fleshed out, but it's already configured for deployment. All right. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope let me know if this has been helpful. Let me know some areas that you'd like me to go into next, or some an aside from this project that you'd like me to get into. And I will see y'all later. Take care. Bye.